In grade 8, I remember reading an interview with Ray Bradbury that provided a blueprint for my life. It was about how to practice, how to really practice, so that the meaning of your life is intimately tied up with the nature of survival itself. As Bradbury puts it, the logic of events always gives way to the logic of senses. It's a pretty heavy concept to encounter when you're just 14, but it was indeed a logic of events that gave way to the sense of what practice truly is. Bradbury says that in this logic of events, you must feed the muse with practice. But what is practice? It is, at some level, the elimination of the need for motivation through the application of systems. Systems meaning show up and do what needs to be done, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. You feed the muse, and you feed the muse with the logic of events. The ego makes it so hard to practice, with all its pain and its attachment to the future and the past, its attachment to right and wrong and better and worse and up and down and left and right, and so many things, the hydra of thoughts. The more thoughts you have, the more thoughts you have. It's so hard to deal with it because your ego doesn't want to see the bigger promise of being with what you're doing right now. The ego can't handle the now, especially when you're feeling your age or for whatever reason you can't focus the way you'd like to, as happens to me many more times than I would prefer. But that's why I need practice. That's why I need to feed the muse with the logic of the event of showing up so that I can enjoy the purer and cleaner logic of emotions, the emotion of having done it anyway. If you can perceive any meaning in what I'm saying, you are engaged with me now in an event. You are feeding your muse. Your pure potential is beginning to displace the worry and the fear of what people might say if you succeed, or what they might say if you fail, or what wrecking ball your own ego might swing against the wall of constant practice. Make no mistake, practice can become as solid as stone. Procedural memory builds in the physical matter of your brain. But action must come first. And this is what Bradbury taught me so many years ago. He said his joy was writing a minimum amount of words for the first half of his day, answering letters to his readers during the second. This was the image of paradise in my mind, step by step, brick by brick. This is the wall that I have built. This is the utopia in which I live. Now, of course, Bradbury may not be the guy for you. He's not even the guy for me. He's just one of many people who have helped me along the way. Pick your grand theory. Pick your guru. The common theme that runs through them all is the cycle of repetition and the pendulum of back and forth. So many people email me asking, how long will it take to master the memory techniques I teach? I have no cookie-cutter answer, except that you must be willing to let go of the outcome. At some level, you must be willing to stop being Homo sapien. That's what the masses choose to do. You must become Homo repetitious. You must join us on the planet of practice. You must embrace, even if it isn't exactly true, the idea that eternity is not outside of time. The infinite is the structure of time itself. It is the logic of events. And you feel this only when you practice. Chogyam Trungpa says that when we practice as if eternity is now, there is dissipation of something into nothing, which is called the path. Truly, how can anyone imagine that the future will be any different than the past? AI will lead us to paradise, they say, to which I respond only on the planet of practice. AIs need to be trained, do they not? But trained on what? They feed on the muse of the logic of events. Maybe one day AIs will write my daily words and answer emails with my style. As of right now, they don't seem to have much style at all. But is the future really likely to uncouple from the basic characteristics of a pattern in which we all need practice? These patterns have been around for a long time. Heraclitus saw it in the 5th century. It is called becoming with a capital B. And you probably know the thrust of Heraclitus' argument well. No one can step in the same river twice, but it is a river. Dig deeper and you will see that even in peace and harmony, Heraclitus sees that reality is built out of a conflict between destruction and regeneration. There is technically no such thing as being with a capital B, and words cannot get you to experience the experience of practice, because everything is becoming in a field where unity comes from multiplicity, and multiplicity is Nietzsche's command to throw the dice without needing to know how things will turn out. So I write my words, I reconstruct my memorized decks with no concern for the outcome, because the logic of events gives way to the higher and the purer and the most glorious logic of emotions, in which you win some, you lose some. You're faster on some days than others, but you affirm the beauty and the glory of the chances you have by showing up to feed the muse with action first and no promise of any result. This is practice.